Welcome to Crypto TV. I'm your host, Ornella Hernandez, and I'll be breaking down some of the latest news from the Web3 world. Today, I'm going to talk about some events that I've attended recently and share some insights that I've learned. And then we have a special guest on the show that you don't want to miss. Let's get into it. Seems like every day there's a conference or meetup in the Web3 world. I go to one at least once a week and talk to lots of founders and builders to learn about them and see if I can get any good alpha out of them. In September, I attended the Crypto Expo event in Dubai. It was the second edition this year of 2023. The first one was actually in March, and it was the first event that I covered for Web3 TV. You can watch the recap for it on the YouTube page. Now, the event in March had a few thousand attendees across 2 days. And of course, there were Lamborghinis out front, how it tends to be at these crypto conferences. I don't get it. What is it with crypto bros and cars? Now, exhibitors consisted mostly of payment gateways and exchanges, albeit smaller exchanges. But this time around, though, it was definitely a smaller affair with less exhibitors and less attendees. Some say that this is due to the bear market conditions because those booths are expensive and not everyone is willing to dish out the cash to exhibit at all of these events. Others think that this is actually a good thing because it means that only those who truly care about the Web3 industry are there and are willing to spend their days preaching the good word of Web3. Now, I also heard some speakers complain about speaking to a not so crowded audience in the auditorium. I mean, if they're taking the time to prepare a keynote or a speech and participate in a panel, I guess it's only natural that they want a large audience to talk to. I get it. Otherwise, it might feel like a waste of time if their message isn't reaching the most amount of people as possible. But then again, I also sometimes feel like it's usually the same people saying the same things all over again. I mean, how many times can we hear the terms mass adoption and to the moon and metaverse without having legitimate products behind those words? I hear this a lot from people I interview as well. Sometimes the ideas are there, but where are the convenient and easy to use products? It could be wallets or exchanges or dApps that help me incorporate crypto and blockchain tech into my everyday life. However, there is one topic that is getting more and more people excited recently, and it's Bitcoin. At the Crypto Expo, I spoke to Naaem Aslam from the company Zaye Capital Markets, and I asked him what he thinks are the most salient topics concerning the market right now. And he answered this.
There are two important things happening in this space when it comes to the entire industry, and everyone is very much laser focused about. It is about the event that is happening next year. You know which one?
The halving of Bitcoin.
Okay. And the second one, which is imminent any day.
Approval of BTC ETFs. Okay, so I'm seeing a Bitcoin theme here. Are you a Bitcoin maxi?
Okay, so I'll give you an example. Okay, that's a great question. And I'll answer that just in a bit. So talking about the two factors, for us, from my own personal perspective and as a CIO of the firm, I think the more important thing is institutions over here, because halving is only going to provide a further tailwind for that event. If ETF gets approved, because let's focus on what BlackRock is, an institution which was the primary broker and advisor to the White House back in 2007, during the PIGS crisis, 2013, COVID crisis, and investor in the Bitcoin mining companies, which gave me a lot of confidence.
After they said originally that they weren't going to touch crypto, now they are.
They did, right? But they invested in. When they invested in, it was pretty clear signal that a company which advises the White House is going after this particular market.
So he's mostly excited about the Bitcoin halving event in 2024. That basically maintains the scarcity of Bitcoin as a way to counteract for inflation. And it happens every 4 years. And basically it cuts in half any rewards that miners get. He's also excited about institutional adoption of Bitcoin, referring to traditional finance giants like BlackRock, Invesco, and Fidelity pushing for these BTC ETFs approval. This product will basically allow traders to gain exposure to Bitcoin without having to directly buy and sell the asset itself. So this is good if institutions like BlackRock back crypto because it's a sign for everyone else to do the same. But then again, it did take BlackRock many years to change its mind about crypto, and now all of a sudden they want to champion it because they realize that Bitcoin as a digital asset is the future. I think they just want to maintain their control over the financial markets. I guess if you can't beat them, join them. I actually also go to finance and fintech events, not just crypto-related ones. The most recent one was the Forex Expo in Dubai at the Dubai World Trade Center. This was a huge event that amassed at least 10,000 attendees, according to the organizers, across 2 days, and it filled up 3 halls within the World Trade Center. Basically, booths galore for those who like this sort of thing. Forex, or foreign exchange currency markets, it's actually similar to the cryptocurrency market. One trades fiat money backed by countries and governments, like euros and dollars. The other is a digital currency backed by coders. They're both volatile and risky. But hey, that's speculation for you. At the Forex Expo, I spoke to some exhibitors, mostly brokerages, and I asked them their opinion on the markets and crypto, and this included Michael Ayres, the group CEO of Rostro, which is a holding company of Scope Markets. We sat down at the Scope Markets booth, which had the NASDAQ-looking ticker display in the back in the middle of the floor.
What is your outlook or forecast when it comes to just the general financial markets? Is there anything that you hope will happen within the next few months or next quarter?
Yeah, I mean, it's a good question. I think the environment has shifted. The last 15 years, interest rate differentials haven't been as they have now. We've had a period where there's been increased volatility spikes, but it's all been driven off of different events. Now what we're seeing is there's suppressed volatility, even amidst the backdrop of inflationary pressures. The market structures have changed. I think from a risk management standpoint, everything has shifted. The business models of the last 15 years will not work going forwards. Effectively, if you're looking to kind of internalize or warehouse a lot of risk, that will not sustain.
You said suppressed volatility, so less. Yeah. Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
It depends on your business model. Like for us, we have a model where we run a multi-book structure. So we have a model where we can generate income, positive cash flow through low, medium, and high volatility environments. So for us, it's a good thing. For some of our peers, it might not be. But we've worked hard to build this diverse business model.
He told me that the conference exceeded his expectations in terms of foot traffic, and that the Gulf region is their target region at the moment because they're looking to work with and acquire market-making specialists in the crypto asset space. Overall, the Forex Expo was good for those who like Forex and that sort of thing, and we're looking to mingle with brokerages, but I didn't even catch any speeches, unfortunately. I guess there's always next year. Another entity, more specifically a free zone, that is looking to stay ahead of things is the DMCC, or the Dubai Multi-Commodity Innovation Center. It's an area in Dubai where companies can seek licenses to set up shop when looking to relocate to Dubai. The DMCC hosted another event that I went to recently, not a huge expo, but a rather smaller cocktail event to announce a partnership between the DMCC and the crypto exchange Bybit. They will co-host a hackathon called the Web3 Unleashed Crypto Innovation Challenge, and this hackathon includes a $100,000 prize pool. Hey, maybe I'll join. No, I'm just kidding. My coding skills are embarrassing. Bybit actually contributed 500,000 dirham, which is around $136,000, to 15 crypto startups in the DMCC crypto ecosystem. Bybit has been making some noise in the UAE recently with its new headquarters. I recently visited the offices where they have a Bybit for Oracle Red Bull Racing Formula 1 car at the entrance. And I know that they have another F1 car with an Azuki NFT that I would love to see in person, but I don't know where that one is. Anyways, at the offices, they actually make you sign up for a Bybit account if you don't already have one at the door. And you have to do it to go inside. Back to the DMCC event, which had hors d'oeuvres going around like shrimp and spring rolls. The executive chairman and CEO of the DMCC, Ahmed bin Sulayem, gave a little speech.
We firmly believe that Dubai is the hub for the most cutting-edge innovation in Web3 and will play a leading role in the future, and we expect DMCC Crypto Center to be the natural home for Web3 pioneers coming to Dubai.
This is a common sentiment that I hear among UAE dwellers. It's a good time to be in business in the UAE, especially if you're in Web3. Mostly because regulators here like VARA, the Virtual Assets Regulatory Authority, is supportive and welcoming of companies looking to be based across Dubai's free zones. And in Abu Dhabi, there's the ADGM, Abu Dhabi Global Market Jurisdiction, that regulates virtual asset activities in the capital. If you're looking to be part of the Dubai busy event season in October and November, then you don't want to miss the GITEX Global Tech Conference and the Future Blockchain Summit in October. It's 4 full days, October 15 through 18, and Web3 TV will be there. I'll be doing interviews, emceeing a stage, and learning about the latest trends in blockchain. Get tickets if you haven't already yet, or make sure to follow the coverage if you can't make it. Now enough about events, let's get into a special interview with my dear friend Nilesh. We're here with my dear friend Nilesh, who came to the studio to join me. How are you today?
I'm doing great. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming. So Nilesh, you are the founder and CEO of a company called Acme.
Correct.
I wanted to learn a little bit about it and about your role and also your journey as a founder, because I know beforehand you worked in the more traditional tech world of San Francisco, Microsoft, PayPal, and now Acme.
Yeah.
So let's start from the beginning and maybe take me to that point where you realized that you wanted to leave San Fran and start your own thing. What was going on? What were you feeling? Tell me about it.
Yeah, no, that's a very fascinating question. So my journey started a few years ago, somewhere around 2017 and 2018, where I got introduced to the world of blockchain by my dear friend. And I had no idea what it was. And I spent the following years using the blockchain and just being fascinated by how money can move in a completely different way than we know it. And when I eventually landed at PayPal, leading the crypto team for Venmo.
Venmo is one of my favorite products, by the way.
It's pretty sweet. At that point, I realized how the other side of the coin. So I got to see a peek into the future of what finance and money could look like. And then I saw a peek into the current reality of how money moves today. And as I was sort of stuck between these two worlds, I started imagining how we can bring the best of both. So I tried to push towards that vision and started thinking about it a lot.
Well, you were leading crypto at Venmo, right? Okay.
Yeah. And we enabled the ability for anyone who uses Venmo, which is an app in the US, so you can send people money as easily as one tap. The ability to also buy, hold, and sell Bitcoin, Ethereum, and other cryptocurrencies. So I was responsible for launching that back in April 2021. But I had a completely different vision of what cryptocurrencies and blockchain could be for something like Venmo.
Okay, so tell me about that vision and maybe your ideal world where digital assets come first.
Yeah, so I think how the world would change for the average person with this technology is 3 ways. The first one would be that my money belongs to me. There's no concept of deposit, there's no concept of withdrawal, there's no concept of a custodian. Just like I have my money in a safe, just like I have my money in my wallet, it's mine. And wherever I go, I can access it and I have the liberty to pay and trade it with anyone. So the freedom, the full sense of ownership, so that's the first part.
Okay.
The second part is, what is money? Today, my savings account is in dirhams if I'm in the UAE. It's in dollars if I'm in the US, if it's in another currency if I'm there. But imagine if my savings account was denominated in different kinds of assets, just like we had back in the day in the barter system, right? Imagine now my savings account is 10 grams of gold, 5,000 grams of silver, $3,000, 20 liters of oil. So imagine I can hold my wealth and my money in all of these different assets that I seem to have value.
Okay.
And this could be different for anyone, right? I could believe in silver, you could believe in gold. We can all pick and choose which currencies we want to hold, just like we can pick and choose the apps we want on our phone. And number 3, we should be able to pay each other and trade these coins with each other in one tab, just like we use a credit card today. So if, just like you want to pay for a cup of coffee in Italy, and the cafe wants euros and I have dirhams, you tap your credit card and the conversion automatically happens. So now imagine if in my savings account I have 10 grams of gold and you would like 3 liters of oil against your service.
So are these assets being tokenized though?
Yeah.
Okay.
So just like a website is created by an enterprise, now the same way anyone can print their own coins. A coin or a token or a digital asset is essentially like a currency bill, right? Wherein the governor says, I promise to pay the bearer of this token so and so, right? The same way now, someone like Enoch or Adnoc can say, I promise to pay the bearer of this token
companies.
1 liter of oil. The same way, an oil refinery can, or a gold refinery can say, I promise to pay the bearer of this token 1 kilo or 1 gram of gold.
Okay.
So if you trust this institution, just like you trust going to an e-commerce place and buying something from them.
Yeah, Amazon, for example.
Yeah, so you can trust that this money is backed by this asset, by this person. And then I have the ability to trade these tokens in an open free market anywhere I want, just the way I pay each other today in the world using my bank account.
Okay, so that's the basis of Acme, right? And this idea of payments with one tap.
Yeah.
Can you go into a little bit more into that, what that means exactly? Is it like Apple Pay, like that type of one tap?
Yeah, so like going back to Venmo, right? So why did Venmo become so popular? You could still send money via bank transfers, right?
Yeah, but this was faster, less fees, and even though it is connected to my bank account, I didn't have to do, it was less steps, I guess.
Exactly.
It was easier through the app.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it was one tap, right? I want to pay you.
Well, it's like Zelle, kind of.
Yeah, exactly. So I want to pay you, it's done. You know,
Right.
I don't have to do 10 different steps. I want the easiest way to complete the transaction. Why did Apple Pay become more popular even though credit cards existed? Because it was safer and it was even more convenient. And just, payments is something that needs to be extremely secure and extremely convenient. It should be it should be subconscious almost. I want to pay you, it's done.
Right.
And just like people don't know how the technicalities of Visa and MasterCard work in the background.
Yeah. Do we need to?
Exactly, right? You trust it. Like you see Visa everywhere, you see Visa on your on your bank card. It's the same way. So what I realized during my time at Venmo was that payments need to be absolutely seamless and delightful.
Okay.
And as soon as you make people worry about the technical intricacies of it and hold them more responsible and tell them to do more steps, not only would they not do it, they get more increasingly nervous that, hey, if I am responsible for doing all of these things, is my money really safe?
Is it ever really safe though, even in crypto? I don't know.
I mean, is it really safe in banks either?
No,
right?
no, I guess
so
not.
It's all,
you can close your account anytime.
Exactly. So, trust is relative. And our mission is to provide the safety and the convenience of you using a PayPal or a bank account today. In fact, make it even more seamless and more secure. But at the same time, give you full control of the money. So no matter...
So self-custody.
Exactly. So what self-custody means is that even if I go out of business or if I turn out to be super malicious and if I want to steal everyone's money, which has happened in the not so distant past, I can't. I just can't. Just like, I can't steal the money in your wallet or everyone's wallet because you haven't deposited to me. So think of it as a bank locker in that sense. The banker has a key and I have a key and both need to be out there to open it, but the banker by themselves can't open it. Something like that, but in...
a safety deposit box.
Yeah, a safety deposit box, but in like cyberspace.
Okay.
So we are your service provider that will help you keep your digital assets secure, help you access your digital assets whenever you want, and help you pay and trade with each other with those assets in one tab, just like you use a bank today.
Okay.
But we never have control of your money. There's no concept of deposit or withdrawal. You are free to take out your money and, not even take out your money, but go to another service and use them if you'd like. We just make it incredibly easy for you and incredibly safe.
Okay, so what's the timeline here? How far developed is Acme?
So we have our technology ready. We are launching it in October.
Oh,
yeah,
very soon.
Yeah,
Next month.
at Joytex. So we have partnered with an ESG startup who is issuing carbon credits on chain against 50,000 acres of land that they own in the Amazon rainforest. So for me as a regular user, let's say in my savings account, I want to own 5,000 carbon credits because I feel that it's going to go up, and me investing in carbon credits is a testament to saving the climate. So if I want my savings to be in carbon credits and other people would eventually want those carbon credits, I can easily pay them. But if, let's say, you are running a cafe in Italy and you say, look, I only want to get paid in coffee coins, or I would like to get in gold coins. Well, it doesn't matter. I can pay you with my carbon credits to your coffee coins in one tap, no problem.
Okay. Do you believe that anything can be tokenized? Is it necessary
Yep,
to
just
tokenize
like, just
everything?
like you can create a website for anything, or you can create an app for anything.
Yeah.
You know, the world's your oyster.
Okay.
But the important point here is, which of them will you trust? Anyone and everyone has the ability to create a website, but how many people would trust to visit that website? So it's all about trust, and trust is usually embedded into brands and enterprises who have a long history of keeping custody of these assets. Like this startup is the largest private reserve in the Amazon rainforest, and they have been
Which
issuing. It's called Metamazonia.
Okay.
And they have been issuing carbon credits over the last 10 years of their life. So they are more reputed to be using this technology that people would trust because they trust that institution with carbon credits. Similar to that, someone like, if I were to issue oil coins, you'd probably not believe me. But
Probably
if
not.
but if Enoch or
Right,
Enoch
right.
says that, hey, look, you can actually even redeem them at the gas station, and I promise to you, and trust me, that this token is backed by a liter of oil. So it's a game of trust, just
Okay.
like any currency out there.
But I thought that these applications were supposed to be trustless.
So that's a very good question, actually. So what needs to be trustless is the payments infrastructure. So number one, if Enoch issued a coin backed by a liter of oil, I should be able to instantly trust that this coin is real. Just like, you see whether the currency bill is real or not, and people counterfeit them, and there's big problem. So how can I verify instantly to anyone, any stranger in the world, that, hey, my coins are the real coins? And number two, how do I trust that if I paid you these 3 Enoch coins or these 3 oil coins, you received it and it's yours, and we can't dispute that I didn't get the money, like it's there. So that infrastructure to help us easily verify that my tokens are real tokens issued by Enoch, and second, if I paid to you, you have the money. There's no question of doubt here. That technology is called blockchain. And that infrastructure needs to be completely public. It needs to be censorship resistant. It needs to be resistant to any one single party being able to control it. Right? So if I paid you
In an ideal world.
in
yes.
an ideal world, of course. But if I paid you 3 Enoch coins, and then if somebody runs the blockchain and they say, no, actually that's not true, we can change that. So nobody would trust it. So by everyone having a cumulative faith that this technology, this blockchain, this ledger is tamper-proof. Nobody can touch it, nobody can manipulate it, nobody can do anything with it, anybody can become a part of it, then people have that subconscious trust built into it.
So I'm not sure if you saw, but recently in Guatemala, during the presidential elections, they used this application built on the Bitcoin blockchain called Simple Proof to timestamp all the official documents and votes in order to make sure that there wasn't any fraud.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Wow, that's impressive.
Yeah, right? I think that was the first election maybe to use the blockchain and Bitcoin blockchain on top of that. So what do you think about those types of real world applications, in addition to the ones that you're talking about, payments, but ones that speak to the testament of transparency and what the blockchain was built for?
Absolutely. I think public, trustable, permissionless, decentralized, pick your favorite word, blockchains are going to have the maximum utility for cross-border transactions. So let me give you an example, right? So today, if I have dirhams in my bank and you want to receive euros in your bank,
Right.
And I have a few options. I either use Visa, MasterCard, American
Well,
Express.
there's Revolut.
Yeah, but Revolut uses the same infrastructure, right? I'm talking
Okay.
cross-border payments.
Okay.
So if I'm in Europe, there's SEPA. If I'm in India, there's UPI. If I'm in the US, so all respective countries have their own domestic payments infrastructure, which is fine. But if I want to move money from this country to this country, suddenly each ledger is different, right? And this country does not trust this country, and this country does not trust this country because there's too much power. So as a result, all the underlying cross-border payments infrastructure reside in the United States. Visa, MasterCard, American Express, wire transfers, SWIFT, ACH.
Right.
So if I want to move dirhams to euros, dirhams goes to MasterCard, converts to dollars, and then goes to euros. So the entire world is kind of trusting the United States to essentially facilitate cross-border payments, right? Which
Is
is
that
why
a good idea right now?
I mean, I
The
can't comment.
landscape in the US.
I am not professional enough to comment on that. However, in a new world, let's say, if I want, as a country, want to facilitate cross-border payments to another country, let's say if I'm in Zimbabwe, and if I want to send money to someone in Nigeria or someone in Kenya, and if I want the ability to do these cross-border payments using digital gold. So now suddenly I tell Kenya that, hey, look, have a liquidity of gold, which we all trust, against your Kenyan shillings. And me in Zambia, I will have liquidity of my Zambian kwacha against gold.
Okay.
And now Zambian people can instantly pay and remit people in Kenya from Kenyan shillings to Zambian kwacha via digital gold. Because we both trust that this digital gold is backed by gold. And we both trust that if
Yeah,
I
but who are
pay...
going to issue these?
This could be a
tokens?
cohort, right? So this could be essentially the Kenyan central bank says, I'm going to issue gold against my reserves
But
of
it's
gold.
a central bank. So
Yeah.
it is still tied to the government in
Exactly.
a way.
You need to trust somebody because the underlying asset is physical, right?
Okay.
I mean, you can even say Bitcoin, and if they say it's going to have Bitcoin reserves, then that's more transparent. But it all depends on the underlying value that countries across borders
Right.
trust.
Okay. So this idea of centralization, though, that's not going away.
Exactly. I mean, you need to trust someone to be the custodian of the real asset to trust the underlying digital asset.
Right,
A digital
right.
asset is a digital twin. So if I say I have 1 million barrels of oil, well, you need to trust me to store 1 million barrels of
Right,
oil.
right.
So there might be new systems in future that develop that hold public transparency and compliance and audits to prove that I actually have this, that will foster trust in the underlying digital asset.
Yeah.
But I mean, I foresee these systems being evolved with time as people start trusting the underlying digital assets.
I see. Okay. Well, we're running out of time, so I'm going to ask last question. I just wanted to get your take on what's your favorite thing about being in the industry and what's your least favorite thing about it? So after everything that we've talked about, I know this is like you painted a picture of maybe an ideal world and what you hope to happen and your role in it.
Yeah.
But given its current state,
Yeah.
what do you like about it the most and what do you like about it the least?
That's a great question. So my favorite thing about this industry is that it attracts people who want to innovate, who want a better world, who want to truly change the way things work today. There's a higher sense of purpose, at least among the builders and the community that I've seen, who are devoted to building this technology. So it's very inspiring. It's good to be around people who always challenge the status quo, think outside the box, experiment, fail, do something new. You know, that's the kind of energy you need to build something revolutionary. And this community and this industry attracts those people. And it also attracts people from all over the world.
Yeah, that's true.
So if I am someone in Nigeria who's smart, I can get paid in crypto as well, and I can start contributing. And this way, it really brings people together on a much closer level, based on merit and talent and a cumulative sense of vision.
Okay. And what about your least favorite thing?
My least favorite.
Be honest.
Yeah. My least favorite is people obsess over the tech a little too much. It's kind of like, hey, this computer has 16 gigs of RAM and it can do this, but I'm like, what do you want the person to do with it?
Right. Okay.
if you look at current stats, if you go to DApp Radar and if you look at, the leading blockchains and if you look at the usage, it's abysmally low.
It's down. It's down. Yeah.
It's really, really low. And the industry is not focused on how do we get the masses to use it. We are in our own crypto bubble in which we understand each other's lingo, but we don't have a way to express to the outer world what's in it for you.
Right. Right. What's in it for the consumer? How can I
Exactly.
use this practically in my everyday life?
Exactly.
Yeah.
How can I impact the world? How can I make any material change because of my technology rather than focusing on the technology itself?
Okay, I agree with you there. All right, and what's the best way for someone to get in touch with you? What social channels should they follow you on? Let us know.
Yeah, so you can follow us on Twitter, Telegram, Facebook, Instagram, any channels under Acme One Tap, ACMEONETAP. And feel free to shoot us a message in any of those channels, and we'll be happy to hear from you.
All right, thank you so much for your time today, Nilesh.
Thank you, it was a pleasure.
And everyone else, please stay tuned for the market update coming up next.
In the crypto market, BTC is up 5.12% this week, trading at $27,700. ETH is up nearly 2.3% this week. AVAX is up around 11.43% this past week. And SOL is rallying as well, up 21.75% this week.
That's it for today, guys. Please remember to like and leave me a comment. Thank you for tuning in to Crypto TV, and I'll see you guys later.